Happy Halloween, James. Today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about one of the most unique individuals, one of the most unique legends in professional wrestling, one of the scariest looking dudes ever, but truly a teddy bear. I'm referring to my old pal, Oxy Poxy, the great master of the heart punch, Ox Baker.
The mustached, red toenail having, opera singing, Price is Right playing. He did it all, but he did it all his way.
He definitely did it all his way. You mentioned about him painting his toenails. I noticed it one day in the locker room that he had his toenails painted, and I asked him why. And he said he painted his toenails to remind him of his wife while he was on the road. And I also heard from the great hustler Rip Rogers that he adopted the same habit as well. He was painting his toenails. Those two traveled a lot together in Kansas City. I want to talk about a story that goes back to 1986. And we're talking about my hometown of Union, New Jersey. To be specific, it was Halloween. We had a show book, myself and promoter Mitch Seinfeld. We were just kids. We had a show booked at my old high school, Union High School. One of the matches on the card, Ox Baker against the unpredictable Johnny Rodz. Now, the night prior, this was October 31st, 1986, there was a Halloween parade in downtown Union, New Jersey. And, there was a whole reception area set up. And it was just what you would think a Halloween parade would be. Kids in costumes. There was a marching band. Kids were coming by the reception area and getting candy. And up at the reception area, we had Johnny Rodz there and Ox Baker. We're going to do some promos and promote the show for the following night. Well, for one thing, every time a kid would come up to get candy from Ox would put his hand in the kid's bag and take their Skittles. He loves Skittles.
The Ox Baker Skittle tax.
He loves Skittles. Anyway, so here we are in Union, New Jersey, Halloween, 1986. First off, there are thousands of people there just to set the stage. Thousands of people. This place is packed, and you just couldn't move, I remember. And Johnny Rodz is up there, and he's doing his thing, and he's saying, tomorrow night, I'm going to get my hands on this big ox. And I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat him in the middle of the ring, And it was great. Nice little babyface promo out of him. And up next, I believe it was the mayor of Union who introduced Ox. Ox gets up to the podium and he says one thing, and one thing only. I hate Puerto Ricans.
Oh my God! In Union, New Jersey,
it seemed like time stopped. It seemed like we all looked at each other. We didn't know how to react. I'm sure if it was 2021, I don't know. Maybe people would have been taken into custody. And of course, Ox did it all, in jokingly, in a fun way. And it was absolutely, just hilarious. He said just that one line, and that one line only. When Johnny sat down, Ox Baker got up to that podium and uttered those words, I hate Puerto Ricans. Only Ox could get away with that.
You want to talk about defining yourself as a heel in just 4 words. That's all it took.
The look on the mayor's face.
Oh, I can only imagine the horror.
It was priceless. The look on his face. Ox Baker, what a scary looking dude, right? But so funny. I was just a kid back then, dang it. I was, 17, 18 years old. He taught me what the word jabroni meant. He was just a great guy. Totally old school. I remember that weekend when Mitch Seinfeld and I went to pick him up. He was staying at oh, some flea bag hotel on Route 1 and 9 in New Jersey. And when we arrived, he was washing his socks in the sink. I remember we had to drive him to JFK, and he insisted on stopping at a grocery store. And he bought a ham. He bought a huge, like 20-pound ham from the grocery store in Brooklyn on the way to JFK. And, Ox, what are you doing with a ham? He said, I'm taking it to Trinidad. So he lugged the 20-pound ham on the plane. And something else that I'll never forget from that time with Ox. And I actually am fortunate. I spent a lot of time with Oxy Poxy. He was just hilarious. I mean, through the years. I mean, after that, we knew each other pretty well. But I remember when we pulled up to JFK and we opened the trunk and he got his bags. And I said, Ox, can I get an autograph photo? And he said, sure, kid. And he went in his bag and he signed that autograph photo. And I still have it. And I'm sure it's displayed right now on the podcast. Yep. He signed all of his autograph photos, mine pal, to mine pal, Carmine Ox Baker. What a legend. What a great man. He was truly a one of a kind. And, you know, his promos, if you watch his old promos, they're second to none. This isn't a contrived gimmick. Ox Baker's gimmick was not something that some writer made up. You know, this was who he was. And, you know, he liked being loud. He liked getting attention. And he certainly did that Halloween night in Union, New Jersey in 1986.
I wish I could have met Ox before he passed, but some of my favorite memories involving Ox, I, of course, love our good friend Evan Ginsberg's 350 Days. Ox Baker stole that movie. I mean, for just a few brief scenes of him cooking in his kitchen and singing, what a gimmick.
Fantastic Ox Baker.
Yeah, and just what a gimmick. There's never going to be another human being to walk the earth quite like Ox Baker. And actually, one of the first times we ever attended a wrestling show together, Carmine, you got to introduce me to the complete musical stylings of Ox Baker. I'm sure you've still got the CD somewhere. I wish people could still get this in mass. It's great. The Old Time Wrestling Blues by Ox Baker.
I've got the Old Time Wrestling Blues.
That's it. Yeah.
The great Oxy Poxy. Oh, he was just fantastic. Really, truly, nobody else like him in the business. I don't think there ever will be another Ox. He was just great. You know, I always thought, if you're going to film a horror movie, you could have Ox Baker, Killer Kowalski, George Steele, and none of them would need any makeup.
Oh, without a doubt.
Maybe you could throw Abdullah the Butcher in there as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it just what a look with the eyebrows and the mustache. You saw him, and on sight, there was no way you could not recognize him. He's just so iconic. And I mean, of course, we can't forget about, he did appear in some movies, of course, Escape from New York being probably the most famous, but of course he was also in The Big Brawl with Jackie Chan. Can't forget. Great movie. But Ox was just one of those guys. He was built to be a villain. You just looked at him and everything about him screamed, he's going to yell and scream and do just what he claimed. I like to hurt people, you know? It just so fitting and such a great gimmick and such a great guy.
That's right. And they used that line for the movie. They made that the title of the movie. I like to hurt people. You know, something about Ox. He wrote a cookbook. I think he recorded more than one CD. I have one of them. And he, as in Evan Ginsberg's movie, 350 Days, he enjoyed cooking a great deal. And in fact, he did all the cooking for his own wedding. He was really something else. Yeah, definitely. Ox Baker is missed. And, for the younger fans out there, if you're not familiar with Ox and you really want to see something, look up on YouTube Ox Baker Cleveland Riot, where he gives repeated heart punches to Ernie Ladd, and the chairs start flying into the ring. And just when you think it's over, Ox is giving him another punch right to the heart. And Ernie Ladd is quivering in the middle of the ring, and the people are just going crazy. That was one of the real deal riots in professional wrestling. I'm not quite sure of the year. I want to say it was 1977, but it could have been a little bit earlier in Cleveland. So
74.
Do yourself a favor, look it up on YouTube, kids.
1974, I believe. We're going to make sure and tweet out that link or put it on our Facebook page as well. What a great clip. Just, you don't see reactions like that in wrestling. We haven't seen them in 20, 30 years. That just genuine hatred from something as simple as a heart punch. It's truly amazing what Ox Baker was able to do. And what a great character. I keep going back to that, but it's truly, he was just larger than life.
He certainly was larger than life. And, one of the greatest voices in wrestling. And, I spoke to him a lot about that. He said to me, Jesse Ventura, he does a great job, but he's no Ox Baker, the fantastic Ox Baker. And he was right. He was right. There's only one. God bless you, Ox. Thank you for all the memories. And happy Halloween, everybody.
Yes, we want to wish everybody a very happy Halloween from all of us here at Contrary to Popular Wrestling, and we will be back very, very soon with more episodes. We're excited to bring them to you. Stay in touch with us on Facebook. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see all the photos we put up to go along with our podcasts. Check us out on all our social media, and we cannot wait to be back with more Contrary to Popular Wrestling. Happy Halloween, everybody.